Radio Rahim here with the man who needs absolutely no introduction. If you don't know him by now, you just don't know boxing. The legendary Hall of Fame promoter, world famous Don King. Don, it's so good to talk to you again. You're here for the Josefa Becker, Abner Morez fight, the rematch. First of all, I'm just going to ask you, how do you feel that this fight is going to play out? And do you feel like Josefa Becker was robbed the first time with the low blows?
First, let me say thank you to Daryl Peoples, who's the president of the IBF, and Lindsey Tucker, who's the championship committee. They felt that it was robbed, and so I felt that at least we had some support, because I definitely seen a job that was one of the worst I've seen in boxing in the 50 years or 40-some years that I've been in the sport, where I told Keith Kaiser before the fight, 2 or 3 weeks, I said, just change it so we won't have nothing, whether it is, whether it isn't. I say, here's what I heard, and I'm going to tell it to you. I hear that all the time. Okay, he says, show me. Well, I think that Mr. Moore showed him in spades, as they would say, and it was a thing that it was a good fight. They both was in there fighting, but the irony of it is that O'Mara's, it was used as a example of what low blows do to guys. He made a whole film on how it works and how it discombobulates the fighter, how it takes him out of the fight. Even though he continues to fight, it takes him out when he keeps getting hit in the groin. And then he exemplified it by doing just that, and the man played Ray Charles on him. So that means he couldn't see it. So it was a sad commentary, but I think it's going to be a vindication on this fight here. I think they both know now that the world's eyes and ears are on them. And so, therefore, they're going to both fight. It's going to be a much better fight because now everybody's watching.
Now, let me ask you about the game of promoting, since that is where you've made your legend. When you were up here, you challenged Oscar De La Hoya to all of his fighters, all of your fighters. But over these past few years, your stable has shrunk. Talk to me about how that happened and how you intend to challenge Oscar De La Hoya in the future.
Well, what it would do here is, I got some pretty good fighters that I'm signing, but my foresight was on getting my own network, because I don't think there's been fair play with the networks. I think they became promoters rather than broadcasters. And so in so doing, not knowing the sport, they thought they were trying to look for ratings, and we're trying to look to give the people the best. Make the fighters fight for glory, pride, and dignity. It's incidental that they get paid. You know, you can't trade in one for the other. You get them both. And when you're fighting for the honor and the pride of your community, unity, and the people in the community know who you are, the groundswell of public support, then you got to fight. You know what I mean? But when you get fights, the guy want to know what date I'm going to have, what network I'm going to be on, how much money I'm going to get, which is not bad questions. But the idea of it is, when you have the Alis and the Foremans and the Nortons and the Larry Holmes, those guys were fighting to be able to fight. You know what I mean? And naturally they're going to get paid. That don't mean they got to give up one for the other. But what we find is that a litany of fights that have not been what they should be, and that's what has turned the public off on boxing. Although boxing will be here, it ain't going nowhere. It's a sweet science, and it's going to continue to be here. But I believe in giving the people what they want. I'm a promoter of the people, for the people, and by the people, and my magic lies in my people ties. It wasn't because I didn't have the fighters. I was trying to get my network together to go on IPTV. Then that way we can give the people what they want and be able to do it, because we did have ABC, CBS, and NBC giving guys an opportunity so they can get to be known and get a groundswell of public support. They got caught up in the pay-per-view thing, and everything is pay-per-view, and the people are not getting their money's worth. And it's a bad situation, and I'm one of the first to say, hey, this is not correct. So what we do now is to go on and keep on moving, because I sold out an arena November the 5th with a fight going up against Showtime and HBO, and I collectively got more viewers than them, but put both of them together without somebody that they didn't even know, with a Guillermo Jones. So it's people that tune in. Over 200 countries and territories. The arena sold out. It was a great thing to ride down the street on Florida on the highway and see the sign say sold out, sold out.
Let me ask you this. You talk about what the people want to see, and you being the man that can bring that to them, have done so in the past. The one fight that everybody wants to see, the fight that the world is waiting on, is Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Now, you don't have either one of those fighters, but advise us, what do you think it would take to get that fight to happen, and is there any way you can get involved and make that happen?
Well, you know, I love Floyd. I think Floyd is the best fighter in the world. I said it then, I say it now. and Floyd came to see me, and I tried to be able to work with him. In fact, I loaned him close to $500,000. Floyd, you ain't paid me back yet. Send my money back to me. But the idea of it is, I think Floyd is a wonderful fighter. He has a stand. He has more pride and dignity, but he's got to be guided to be able to help him to do what he can do. And so that fight, I think we can make that fight. If I sit down and talk to Floyd, because he's a decent kid, he's a young man, and he has a lot of pride and a lot of dignity, and he thinks they're looking down on him, and they talk to him in a manner which he's inconsequential. And that don't work with Floyd. He's got pride, and so some money, he says, ain't worth having. And so you deal with it. But the fight is what the public would want, but it's about personality and how you use and how you speak to people. So I'm gonna talk to Floyd and let him get in the ring. Now, whether he's promoting with me or not is immaterial and irrelevant. What I want to do is to see him before it's too late, because that last fight with Pacquiao, things kind of diminished a little bit. And I want to get him while it's hot, where everybody is raving for it, everybody is craving for it, and let Floyd go do his thing.
Now, the other thing in this sport that is so obviously missing, that we're all hungering for, is another heavyweight championship bout with an American heavyweight, the division to be pumped up again as it was in the past. Where's Don King in the heavyweight division? When are you going to bring us a heavyweight champion, Don?
We're working on that right now. I got the silver world heavyweight champion in Bermain Stervain, and he's a tremendous fighter. I'm getting ready to do the Rumble in the Jungle too, and it's going to be done in Ethiopia. And it's going to be a recall of the glory of yesteryear and bring them all in there. So I'm going to be putting that together to see it. But we definitely got to get a heavyweight champion, not one that just fights in Germany. And we got to get somebody that's a world champion that will be able to fight. And we're working, that group called the Coasters. They say, I'm searching every which way. That's what we're doing. We're going to bring it back to old glory. And America, the greatest country in the world, and we're going to demonstrate that to the world. We're going to get the heavyweight championship back, and I got the cruiserweight champion right now with Guillermo Jones, and I got a light heavyweight that's fighting on the 31st of this month, bringing in the new year. His name is Tavares Cloud. He is going to be a super sensational guy, and they block him. They've been blocking him. He just keep knocking him out. He beat Glenn Johnson. You know what they're doing? They're giving losers the opportunity. Look like they're trying to make losing winning. And everybody that loses, everybody that he beats, they give him new dates to go out and do to get on the show. And the winner, if he works and dedicates and commit himself to excellence, he sacrifices, he suffers, he trains, they pass him by. That ain't gonna work no more.
Just quickly, give me your assessment of how the heavyweight division got so vacant. Why is there so little talent there right now?
Well, because they jumped on me and tried to block me from what I was doing best. And they whisper in these guys' ears, and they come up with the Muhammad Ali Act, and they try to block it, which is really the Don King Act. You know what I mean? They try to keep it so that you can't get the guys, and in the same time, they kill the business because they lost all of the champions. When I stopped pushing them out there to do it, they ain't been able to do it, and so therefore the excitement is left, the luster is gone. We got to restore that. We got to recapture that glory of yesteryear. We got to give it back to the people. The people are the most important. And that's what I do. I promote the people, and the fighters are the catalyst to bring them all together. We will return.
Don, recently we've lost one of the greatest world champions that boxing's ever seen, a beloved man, a man that you've worked with, that we all know, Smoking Joe Frazier. I'd just like to give you an opportunity to speak on the passing of that great legend.
Well, he was a great legend. He was a fighter. He was a sharecropper's son, and he was one step from that peculiar institution, and he couldn't articulate it, but he would fight with his fist, with his courage and his indomitable spirit. He would fight Ali, fighting for the same thing, freedom, justice, and equality. And but they would call him iconoclastic, and they would fight because he wanted his liberty now. He wanted the rules and regulations that he was given to his counterpart to be given to him. All right, so he was a conscientious objector, and they exiled him for 4 years because he was fighting it, in the Supreme Court of the United States vindicated him and gave him his rights. And so, but Joe Frazier and Ali, they were a match made in boxing heaven, because Joe Frazier came out and he beat Muhammad Ali, and then they came back and they had another fight, and then the rubber match was the Thriller in Manila. And it's immortal. It's been immortalized in the sands of time. I love Joe because Joe would sit and talk to me too. He wanted to be freedom, justice, and equality, and he knew more about it than many people because he was living it with his father there being a sharecropper, and every year he still owed 6 more bushels. You know, he never would get out. And so Joe come out, and then he came back and took care of his mother and bought his mother a house. And so he was in the struggle. And that's what I always liked about him, because both of those guys really changed history, and they broke down a lot of barriers, you know what I mean, that we are now enjoying the fruits of, but we have a long way to go. We ain't got there yet. If you're of color, you got a problem. And as you can see it every day with the onrush of what they're doing with this guy named Herman Cain. That is nothing exciting and nothing provocative and nothing different. That's normal, man. You got to understand that. You just put black in that equation and you get it out. Quit trying to hide from what it really is and deal with it because it is real. You know what I mean? Because now you can see what it is, but the whole world is beginning to bear witness to 400 years of intimidation, brainwashing, you know what I mean, that's been going down and making wrong right and separating, divide and conquer, and everything odious is black, everything is beautiful is white. So you got to understand that, you know, what we're up against, but at the same token, we got the best country in the world. You got redress, you got an opportunity in the land of opportunity to speak out and to be able to work in unity, solidarity, and togetherness to bring about that change. So I'm working for that change for a better America, the greatest nation in the world. I love this country.
I'm going to talk to you next, so stick around right here. Josefa Becker, Don King, it's always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much. I love you too, and I can't wait for you to bring that heavyweight division back. You promised me. All right, bring it right in. Let's keep rolling.
Black and white, I like.
Let's keep rolling. Keep rolling. Yeah. Now, the man we've been talking about, the man that brought Don King here today, Josefa Becker, now challenging for the title that once was yours. First of all, talk to me about how it feels to now be on the challenging end of that title that you walked into the ring with last time you were in the ring.
I feel good. I feel happy that I'm going into the ring to fight for the same belt, and then I'll be able to get my belt back, you know.
Now, a lot's been made of the low blows. I know you've spoken on it before. You want to move past it, but there's no way that you can get into this fight without thinking about it. Are you concerned that the same thing will occur again? And if so, how will you respond this time?
I'm not thinking about the low blows this time, you know, because Maris himself has to work on the low blows, you know, because definitely we're going to have a referee who's going to be under pressure to make sure he takes care of the business well, and then the world will be watching. So I don't have to be the one to complain about the low blows anymore, but the fans will complain if it does go low.
Now let's talk a little bit about your approach to this fight, boxing-wise, legal boxing-wise. The fight was close, but you still lost it on the cards. Are you making any adjustments to win this fight? Forget about the low blows, just straight boxing. What kind of adjustments are you making to win this time if it goes to the decision?
Definitely, I'm taking no chances. I make sure I'm going to be ahead of the game. That's all. And then at the end of everything, I'm going to come out as the winner of the night.
When you come away and you feel like you're the winner, knowing that you're fighting in Abner Morris's backyard, he's the champ now, you didn't feel like you got justice from the referees last time, you know that the decision may not go your way. Are you looking for the knockout? That's the only way that you can guarantee walking out with that belt.
No, boxing shouldn't be like that, you know. No matter where you fight, if you win on the card, you have to win. You have to be the winner of the night. You don't have to fight somebody in his home and then you win, and then you win by decision. Then they don't give it to you. No, they have to give it to you. If you win on the card and you win it on the person's home, you still have to be the winner. You don't have to knock somebody out to become the winner. If you win, then you win. It should be very, very fair.
Now, two more questions. If you win, this fight has the makings. This has the makings of a rubber match, a trilogy. If you were to win, now you've both won one. Would you be open to giving Mares a rematch?
Yeah. If he deserved it, if he fought harder enough to get a rematch, if he fought harder to impress the crowd that he deserved a rematch, why not? I'll give him.